Welcome to Timeless Prosperity. In this video, we proceed with Chapter 10. Chapter 10. Polarity. Everything has two sides. Everything has poles. Opposites are actually the same thing, just different degrees. Extremes meet. All truths are half-truths. All paradoxes can be reconciled. The Kybalion. The core idea, simply stated. Everything has two poles. Everything has a pair of opposites. But here's the twist. The opposites are actually the same thing, just at different ends of the scale. This solves a lot of life's confusing paradoxes. People have always sensed this truth, saying things like, there are two sides to every story. Every truth is half false. The reverse side of every shield. The Hermetic teaching makes it clear. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. The classic example, heat and cold. Think of a thermometer. Where does heat stop and cold begin? There's no hard line. It's all just temperature. Cold is just less heat. Hot is just more heat. There's no such thing as absolute cold or absolute heat, just higher or lower vibrations on the same scale. Other physical examples are light or darkness, levels of illumination. Large or small, levels of size, relative. Hard or soft, levels of density. Sharp or dull, levels of edge. Noise or quiet, levels of sound vibration. East or west, directions on a circle. Travel far enough east, you reach west. The takeaway. Labels like hot and cold are just names we give to different points on the same slider. The mental scale of love and hate is where it gets powerful. Most people think love and hate are totally different things. Hermetics say, no. They're the same emotion, just different poles. Love is just a high vibration on the affection scale. Hate a low vibration on the affection scale. Like or dislike is the middle point, where it's hard to tell them apart. Same with fear and courage. Courage is the high vibration on the confidence scale. Fear is the low vibration on the confidence scale. Why this matters? You can't turn fear into love, they're different scales. But you can turn fear into courage, same scale, different pole. You can turn hate into love, same scale, different pole. This is the secret of mental transmutation. How transmutation works. Sliding the scale. You can't change a thing's class. You can't turn heat into sound. But you can change its pole. You can turn heat into cold. In your mind, a fearful person isn't broken. They're just vibrating at the low end of the courage scale. By raising their vibration, focus, will, practice, they slide toward courage. A lazy person isn't hopeless. They're at the low end of the activity scale. By shifting focus, they slide toward energy and action. Key distinction. Change isn't about creating something new. It's about sliding along the scale you already have. Positive versus negative poles. On every scale, one pole is positive and one is negative. Not good versus evil, but active versus passive, or high versus low. Let me illustrate by mentioning the scale positive pole, negative pole. Affection, love, hate, confidence, courage, fear, action, activity, non-activity. Natural law. The positive pole tends to dominate the negative. Nature moves toward the positive. Understanding this helps you align with the flow, not fight it. Influencing others, mental induction. This principle doesn't just work on you. It works on others too. This is how mental influence happens. How it works. Person A stabilizes their own mind at a high vibration, example courage. Through presence, words, or intention, they induce, transmit, that vibration. Person B picks up the vibration and slides along their own scale toward courage. Example. Someone is full of fear and melancholy. A skilled practitioner raises their own state to courage, peace. Through interaction, the fearful person catches the higher vibration. Their fear transmutes into courage, not by force, but by resonance. This is the basis of many mental treatments, healing sessions, and even inspirational leadership. The takeaway: mastery over moods. Why study this? So you stop being a slave to your moods and start being the master. Without this knowledge, you feel fear, you are fearful. You feel anger, you are angry. You're pushed around by every emotional swing. With this knowledge, you feel fear, you recognize it as a low vibration on the courage scale. You consciously shift your focus, you slide toward courage. You help others do the same. The promise of this chapter: a correct understanding of polarity throws light on many difficult subjects. It gives you the lever to move your own mind and gently influence the world around you. As the text closes, he will be able to raise or lower the vibration at will, to change his mental poles, and thus be master of his mental states, instead of being their servant and slave. You've got the scale. Now you've got the slider. Use it wisely.